How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk to you about how to get in on 100x cryptos. And this is coming from someone that got one in the last 24 hours. I was invested in this and it says it's up 3,500%. This is from the launch price. I got in at under 10 cents. I want to explain this and explain why, even though if you didn't get in on this one, this is a very good sign that this went up so much, and give you some information that you might not have otherwise. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. I'll be honest, I already recorded this. There's an audio issue, so hopefully this one's okay, but let's get into it. So I've been talking about this a lot. I've made probably 3 or 4 posts about it. I retweeted it probably 11 times, 12 times from other influencers, done a couple tweets about it myself. Also, I included this Satoshi VM in several videos talking about it, 3, 4, 5 videos, and how I thought it was going to do well. I also posted about it on HG Access, which is a Patreon that I have with a bunch of other influencers. As you can see here, I talked about how I thought there was a huge potential here, huge alpha. There's a lot of engagement, not financial advice. Go learn more. I talked about what it was. I also talked about my own Patreon, that this was something that I was getting into. Now, since I talked about it, by the way, there are links to those Patreons underneath the video. Literally, if you had put $1 in it, it would have paid itself back right away. But Satoshi VM did extremely well. I talked about it a lot ahead of time, but still, it was not the easiest thing for people to buy. Now, I want to talk about why that might actually be a good thing, but first of all, people are still interested in it. Like Crypto Rover currently holds 35K. He bought at $5. So he bought after it was public. Like, that's a really good sign. If there are large influencers buying after it's already up 50x from pre-sale, that's a good sign. He also says he thinks it can go up to 1,000 or 1,500. And how's he basing this? Why does he think this is the case? Because the layer 2 Polygon went up to 20 billion during the last bull run. So he thinks this is possible. He thinks it could easily do a 200x from here, which is nuts. I think that's where I think he was saying a 200x from the $5, but either way, like, that's still a huge upside. It's at $12 now. Since it went public, it was even up 3,400%. As a market cap right now, I don't think this is correct. The market cap of, I think, right around 250 million now. I could be wrong. These numbers are still kind of being worked around, being moved, because this is a new crypto. But this was not the easiest one to buy. Even though there are people that are super bullish on it now, talking about it. Mao Shooter talks about how if you got an IDO, you'd be up 100x. If not, public launch still made 25x. And he did a whole thread talking about how you can get in on the testnet as well and get a potential airdrop. But I talked about how this was super, had an extreme amount of excitement behind it. I've never seen so many influencers get in on one project, talk about it. And you might have heard that in previous videos, but you might not just have turned that switch on like, hey, I really do need to research this. And now we can see 100x's are doable. Like, this isn't even the full-on bull market, and you can get 100x. Now, like I said, this was not easy to buy. It's on Uniswap. They put out the contract address. They didn't tell people the time. It's not on centralized exchanges. I had someone reach out to me like, hey, I don't see it on Coinbase. How can I buy it? This is a good reminder, or a good teaching moment for a lot of people. If you have to buy on Coinbase or you're not buying cryptos, you're not going to get 100x. The reason for that is by the time something hits Coinbase, it's already large or it's been around for a long time. Something like this does not launch directly on Coinbase usually. It launches, stealth launch, or it's a quiet launch. It goes on Uniswap and then they get exchange listings typically afterwards. This was a really good sign though. Like, people said, hey, I wasn't able to get in. That's too bad. And I said, this was at $4 or $5 last night. I said, even though it's 50x, like, there's a lot of people buying. There's a ton of volume, and it's still not super easy to buy. You might want to consider buying. And since then, it's gone up 2.5x. I said that on my Patreon. So if you're buying just because it's on Coinbase, or if you can only buy because it's on Coinbase, you're probably not going to get any 100x's. You're not going to get 50x's. I guess it's possible. Maybe it goes from 100 million to 5 billion and you get 50x, but not super likely. Stuff like this is hard to buy because when it becomes easier to buy, when more people see it, well, they buy and that pushes it up. Like, it's hard to get in on these, but if you do the work, you can get in on them. Now, I am actually talking to Margex right now about possibly listing this. If you want to check out Margex, you can trade crypto on Leverage. There's a link to it underneath the video. Check it out. But this is my favorite trading platform. I think it's a really nice layout, and they have great customer service. So check that out underneath the video. But as you can see, like, it just did extremely well. There's still a lot of excitement for it. And one that I talked about before this, Inspect, also another great one. I talked about it in our HG Access around 16 cents. I talked about it before that too, I believe, but I said, hey, you might want to look at it. And from 16 cents, it went and doubled, and now it's pulling back, but still up 50%. Like, this is new as well. If you can find something that has a lot of excitement, has a lot of good backers, and actually provides utility, like this is a layer 2 on Bitcoin. It could be huge. ZK rollup layer 2 is compatible with EVM. This, like I said, this could be huge during the next bull run. You can make those huge returns. Now, this is just a test net too. Like, their main net isn't available. It's not available to buy on a lot of large exchanges. Like, they haven't even done that many tweets. This is crazy how well this is done. But even if you didn't get in on this, first of all, you might want to buy now. I'm not saying you do want to buy. I'm saying you might want to, you personally might want to buy because there's still so much excitement for this and it's still early stages. But even if you didn't get in on this and you don't want to buy this, this is a good sign. Like I said, we're in the bear market and we had 100x. Think about what can happen during the bull market. The gains will be nuts. And if you put in the work, if you go figure out how to buy cryptos like this, how to get in early, if you maybe even build up a Twitter page to 5,000, 10,000 Twitter followers, it might help you get allocations in these or be able to have more connections. I did talk about how to buy cryptos like this in HG Access and my own Patreon. I created a video talking about this today so that maybe you can get in on the next 100x. They don't all do this well though. Keep in mind, if you get in early, a lot of the time there is more risk. But with this one, I had a fantastic feeling. I thought this would probably be the best launch I've ever been a part of. And it was. It did crazy well. And it continues to move up. Yeah, there are pullbacks, but now it's just continuing to move up. So if you want more information on stuff like this, you can check out the link underneath the video to HG Access. If you don't, that's fine. I'm going to get hate comments. People, that's how you know you're in a bull market. People get pissed off if you do poorly or if you talk about a crypto that did poorly. And they also get pissed off if you talk about crypto that did well, because a lot of people do miss out on those and then they get salty. They get annoyed. So I guess that's a good sign. If people are pissed off, we're going into a bull market. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope this is helpful a little bit, and check out the links underneath the video.